Welcome, welcome, one and all. I assume I am loud enough, as always. Today will not be like one of our normal adventures. D&D will be taking a bit of a break, but I'm here today to explain exactly what will be going on in the future. Today will be the telling of what will happen with rejected potential, as well as, Jesus, the Grim Legacy, and what I have plans for them in the future. I am, of course, your host, the Silent Twitch, and this isn't, as I said, one of your normal sessions. For today, I shall be explaining both what to expect in the future and what the characters will be going through. Firstly, we will be doing another time skip. This time around, an actual time skip. D&D will, with both groups will turn on the 1st and 2nd of February. In that time, I plan to write up more in the book for info, as well as prepare the second half of this major turning point in the current age. For it will be up to the players on what name this age takes and why it takes it. In short, um, now I have kind of gotten a bit of a burnout as a DM, and so this does not mean D&D will be ending on the channel. Wolf does plan to run some D&D. I will probably do some Twitch streams of that, and so the Grim Legacy will be joining him on Saturdays. I will not be hosting though. While I work on the book, I might play on occasion. I might just let him stream or let him do his thing and just stream it for him in the background. But this is kind of how we will be running things for the future. I'm doing this a lot because of that and the fact that I am very, very exhausted from trying to get everything kind of figured out and going. We, yeah, had a lot going on. So, next, and back to the story. So, for the world itself, we have a big turning point at this point. The world has come together. We have the merging of both Incremia and Silencia. Silencia is the world that the players have been playing on since the Age of Tears, which was the last game with the Time Fornicators in which we streamed. Um, Incremia is a world of my pure creation from about 6 years ago, based on a game I was designing back in the day. The two worlds have merged, causing magic to become very chaotic. As Zelm stated in the last Rejected Potential episode last Sunday, I believe, the future foretold shows magic being shackled in towers, the world in chaos, and the gods being brought into heel. That is still the case at this current point. If nothing is done, the world will fall. Zelm, however, being played by me, Zelm is actually my original DM character that I was gonna work into the story, and I have kind of worked into the story. Um, has foreseen the future as something much darker. The High King is no longer the number one god; he is now just another leader of one of the pantheons. Many races have started making contact with each other with the expansion of the or Helio, who are a half version of the Aasimar with draconic magic to them instead of divine, which is in some cases more powerful, especially now, given the fact that the gods have started to fall back. The Helio are starting their grand war. The Tigraxes, which is the Rakshasa race we've been dealing with, have started to make their move, having taken over the Tiefling lands, and much of the world is beginning to fall to an extreme chaos. Gods will change sides, wars will be fought, many will die. With this in mind, we will have a lot of issues going on in the future. So, to get to the main point, putting on my facade as Zelm. Zelm begins to speak, starting out with rejected potential. As he sits in his chair, his staff growing gnarled, him aging at an extraordinary rate, his cloak breaking down, his clothes coming to almost like a mangled mess. The man is feeling the change in balance. Zelm begins to speak to rejected potential as he invites them into his back room, into his study, if you will, where many a tall, almost labyrinth-like bookshelves scattered about, chemistry sets, experiments, things in jars all around, bubbling, flames, the smell of cooking on the air, the strong scent of ale. As he sits them down around his grand broken throne of cherry wood, or what appears to be cherry wood, coming out of the giant oak tree that seems to sit behind him, he begins to speak. A task shall be set for each of you. For Dolkin, you shall be tasked with smithing a weapon capable to destroy the gods. You've probably heard tales of Homescius. You've probably heard tales of the great sword or the spear. Well, those will be nothing compared to your weapon. A weapon so powerful that it will bring the gods themselves to their knees, so that they may serve us in this time of strife. For a great holy war is coming, and many lives will be lost in this power struggle for the top. It is your job to craft something worthy of cutting down the mightiest of foes. For that, you must seek out materials that could create such a weapon. You will be tasked with this while accompanying your fellow members on their great journey. For Zaya, it is your job to restore the great house of Silver Song. A new era has come, and the tieflings hold great power, but the lands have been invaded, and you must reclaim them. For with the help of the tieflings, a new empire can be forged, and a new era of peace can be created. For E2, I task you with gaining allies, as many as possible. With the coming wars, you will be required to help bring peace and stabilize the realm. Start with the Grim Legacy and bring others together. A great wall is needed at this point. Thus, I expect you to gather as many as you can for our cause. For Ven Zorwin, with your immortality back, I give you the hardest task of all. I request that you travel deep into the lair of the Spidian Queen, your old favorite lover, I imagine, to the burning tree in which to bring me back a single piece of its fruit. Journey alone will cause death and destruction, but the tree is said to be impossible to get near without both the queen herself or the tree attempting to kill you. This fruit is also highly prized, for it can grant any mage more magic than the gods themselves. Thus, you know what that means. We need this fruit if we are to stave off the inevitable destruction. After which, Zelm takes a minute and goes into a sort of trance while the players sit there and talk to each other, trying to figure out things, Advaline being nowhere to be seen. Zelm begins to contact the Grim Legacy at this point. As a group message to each of them, he contacts them. I contact each of you with the simple understanding that a united front is needed. I don't like this any more than you do, but the future I see is much worse than what Zopip has foreseen himself. A great war is coming, one in which two sides shall be drawn, and we must stop the other from claiming the crown of the heavens themselves. The great Helio race has begun its push for conquest, plans to open up the domains and pour down Moors on everyone. They wish to claim the world's magic for themselves and enslave all others, and I ask of you to help me for any reward that I may grant you. To Zopip, the smallest dragon, I request that you unlock the truth of the High King and his past, for in it lies the truth of how the world split and why. With your greater intelligence and where I sent you, you should learn much and more. Today, to Agent A, I task you with gaining the wood of the oldest teak tree in the lands of Drafika, the one for which grows where a great travesty of your family happened. This tree is guarded by Toutler himself, but if you can gain it, along with the silk from the Spidian Queen, you will have an instrument that can calm even the most enraged of dragons. You can figure out where to go with that. To Aaron, I request that you continue to strengthen your defenses. Your people need weapons, armor, allies, and tools. You must organize this nation and all the nations E2 brings into the fold. Bring them or force them into an army worth defending the world. For when our enemies come, we must have a wall of forces ready to defend it. That includes getting your own kingdom under control. To Kilxius, I task you with returning it to your people. We are to win this, we will need the help of the Red Orcs. I request that you return and take the title of king and lead your people back to Dragon's Gate. Here they shall stand as the vanguard and with the help of their gods hold the tides of battle. They will hold. To Machina, although I do not know much of you, I do request that you, along with the party, gather every piece of intel about our enemy. If we are to have any chance at winning, then I must know what we face, for as my magic weakens and becomes more chaotic, so should theirs. With all this, both rejected potential and grim legacy, we shall prepare for the final fight. These tasks shall be daunting, they shall be cruel, and many will die. But if we accomplish this, we can save the future that Zopip and I have seen. You will have to work together. There will be no choice. Both the future has been told, and with this, you shall accomplish all that I request. I thank you for watching. We will see you back on February 1st and the 2nd to continue the series overall. Um, from there, we will be doing a major focus on story, character development, and the expansion of players. I cannot promise that they will not all die. I do not promise that they will all do what they've been tasked with. For all I know, they're probably just going to screw off and do whatever the hell they want. But, at very least, it shall be interesting what they can accomplish. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.